and welcome to the chat on Newsday Amarillo and News Channel 10-2. I'm David Lovejoy.
And I'm Chuckalicious, Chuck Williams.
And joining us this morning is the constable from Potter County Precinct 1. The election is on the way. We have heard that the primaries are kicking off. This man has devoted his lifetime to law enforcement. Constable Wertz is the Precinct 1 constable in that. Welcome, Constable. How are you doing today?
Good morning, David. I'm doing good.
Now, you've had a long career in law enforcement. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got from growing up here in Amarillo on the High Plains to constable of Potter County Precinct 1.
Well, I started at Amarillo Police Department in 1984, retired from there, lived the retired life for a little bit, went to the sheriff's office, still wasn't sure, went into private security, and then I started at Amarillo College, was there 6 years, was a sergeant investigator.
Oh.
The chief at the time, me and him both left Amarillo College to become constables. I was Precinct 1, he was Precinct 3, and he's since retired. I'm still doing it. I've been a constable for 11 years.
Oh, wow. And some people are not familiar. You guys are out there, a spearhead of law enforcement, handling different everything from civil issues to writ of possession to evictions. The constable office is a varied department. You don't know from day to day what's going to hit your desk.
We do it all. I call us a one-stop cop. and we're really the people's police.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's a one. I think of Harris County in the Houston area, and I think of other. I have a good friend who works in law enforcement in the Ohio area. They have huge constables.
Yes.
I mean, you look at Harris County down in Houston. They have a force that rivals the police department, the sheriff's office, the number of officers. You guys in Potter around the county, it's a one-man band. You guys have all this coming in from each precinct. Tell us how that workload is.
I am the busiest constable in Potter County. We're all busy, but I'm the busiest. And with civil process and evictions seem to be they're just out of control.
Yeah.
And it's not just that. I do all civil process that comes to me. Plus, I do criminal. It's busy. I have to bailiff the court.
Yeah. I know of an incident just the other night that happened here in the community where there was a gentleman who decided to fire a weapon off in the middle of an apartment complex. And the next available officers to do something about it was you guys.
I was contacted by the manager of that complex, did research, found out the guy was wanted out of Tarrant County on felony warrants. Got two of my other constables in Potter County, and we went, made entry, and put him in jail.
Took care of it.
No incident.
Yeah.
No injuries, no incident.
And see, and that's the thing. You go from serving someone in a lawsuit to facing a wanted criminal with a firearm. I mean, it is such a spectrum of the law enforcement. Why are you the person to keep leading Potter County Precinct?
Because I have the experience. Civil process requires experience. If you ask me, it's one of those things that if you don't do it right, you can get sued really easy. And I've been doing it 11 years. I've been in law enforcement 38 years. I have a lot left in my tank to keep going, and this is my community. I own my home here since 1991. I grew up here since I was 4 years old.
Wow.
I'm vested in this community.
That is where I was going with this question. How much is vesting in the community? How important is that to you and to the community?
It's very important to me. My kids grew up here. My grandkids are growing up here. You know, I want Amarillo to be safe, and the city is probably one of the better cities in Texas to me. I don't like the big cities of Dallas and Houston. This is just the right size, and you know, I try and do everything I can to keep this city as safe as I can for a one-man office.
And you do things, that's the key. Sometimes we only think of law enforcement when it's bad, when it's something going on, when we need them. I know personally, I've seen some of the work that you guys do. You take part in school supply drives,
Right.
You take part in educating children on drugs, on safety, on that sort of stuff. How important is that element of your job, being that contact, being that presence of law enforcement in some parts of the community that maybe the APD or the sheriff's department don't get to?
Yeah, they're so busy they don't have time a lot of times. And, you know, if we can make time, we do, because it all starts with our youth. You know, it's all about our youth. My grandkids are growing up here, and, you know, so it's very important. And, you know, some people think we work for the landlords. I work for everybody.
You work for everybody.
Right.
For the people. I'm a taxpayer, but I work for the taxpayers. And, you know, if tenants, there are bad landlords out there, like there are good landlords.
Yeah.
And there are bad tenants and good tenants. And if tenants have problems, I will direct them to either legal aid or wherever I can get them their help, just like I do the landlords and the banks and anybody else that comes to me.
And that's a big part of your job, is helping people who are unfamiliar with the legal process, especially on the JP side of the court or the county side of it, who you need to talk to, where you need to go to. That's a big part of your job day to day.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You know, I try and, you know, there's legal aid here in Amarillo, and if their tenants having problems, we'll try and get them there. You know, we try and, I talk to the homeless a lot in my precinct. You know, I try and find out if they're connected to the city with their services. I'm not there to be mean to them, and I'm there trying to get them a place to stay, because it's kind of cold out there.
Yeah.
That's it. I think it uniquely served that the constables are in a unique position. And sometimes it can be a tough position because you are law enforcement, but you are a huge representation of the community. You're the people's police, I guess.
Yes, that's what the JP court's the people's court. We're the people's police.
That's the people's police. And Constable Wertz is his experience as an APD officer, working with sheriff's departments, private security. But main thing is he's invested in this community. And I think when you look at voting and you have to take both sides, take it into consideration. But there's some things that really, really matter, especially when you're running on a razor thin margin. Like I said, you look at other constable offices in the state of Texas, they have hundreds of personnel. This is a one-person office. So knowing where to step, where to be, what to do is a vital part and important part of this job. Constable Wertz, tell the people real quick why you're the man for the job and continued service in Potter County.
Because the experience really matters in this job, and I have that experience. I've been doing this my whole life. I grew up on the north side of town, graduated Powder High School. I know the community, and I've been out on the streets of Amarillo for 38 years, and I know I have the experience it takes to do this job.
An experienced lawman and an experienced job. Where can they find out more information on your campaign?
My Facebook page is Re-elect Constable Daryl Wertz on Facebook, and I don't have a website. I'm not a techie.
I see, you're like me. I can only do one thing at a time, and that's it. But proven experience in law enforcement, proven experience in getting the job done. Constable Wertz wants to represent, again, Potter County Precinct 1. He's got a Facebook page, Elect Constable Daryl Wertz, Precinct 1. Go check it out. Find out about this man and cast your vote accordingly. Constable, thank you so much. Be safe.
Thank you, David and Chuck.
Anytime.
Talk to you later now.